Hi there, welcome to the Kenny Veach M-Cave mystery. Today I want to look at a different article about the case. We're going to analyse it, check for any interesting or new information, look back retrospectively to reflect on if there's any misinformation or contradictions made. Of course, people that are currently here in this live premiere and even on catch up, you can let me know your thoughts down below behind the article. And if you pick up on anything strange, odd, of interest, or you've simply got a question, leave it down below in the comment section under this video. Down below, you'll also find a pinned comment by me with some additional links if you want to check them out. Links if you want to support the channel in some way or another. As for the people that are here though, currently in this live premiere, welcome. Share your thoughts, your discussions, your talks, whatever it may be in the live chat box. And in general, if you do want to catch up on the recent videos by me, because I have done a couple back to back, top right corner of the screen where you see the I symbol, click on that and you'll be redirected to videos which you may have missed out on. There we go. Now, I can do another poll on my community tab page regarding just a simple discussion time of looking back at comments, a standalone video. Reason being, there's over 100 comments, and I don't think that will be suitable for today. It can be a standalone one. So, you know, when there's time, when the poll is up, feel free to go on to my channel page, community tab section, and make sure to vote. Let me know your thoughts. Do you want to see a video like that or not? There are times and moments where there might not be much to talk about or new things to cover, or you just want a bit of a break, right? You just want to slow things down a bit, have a bit of a rest. A video like that can be somewhat calming, relaxing, and people can still hang out because live premieres are the best way to go on YouTube. It's the best of both. You got the somewhat smooth, polished videos that have been recorded, edited, and then you've got the live aspect where people watch it for the first time and react and can talk with one another. So I think that's the best combination there. So without further ado, what we'll get straight into now is this article. I believe it dates back to 2017, so it's pretty old, but this is the thing. Looking back at old articles isn't always bad, right? Yes, you're expected to see limited information and talk about it because it's a bit more fresh. I mean, okay, Kenny went missing 2014, 15, 16, 17, about 3 years on, but still, it's a bit closer to the time of when Kenny went missing. Articles of today, or more so 2023, when we saw that burst of them, they weren't exactly great, were they? And some were making some extreme assumptions by stating that the desert is known for murders and bodies being dumped in the desert area where Kenny Veach hiked, and drug dealing and nasty behaviour. That's never been seen, recorded or noted by all the hikers that have been out there with time and on the multiple occasions they've gone out there. So that's BS, but it needed to be highlighted. And even Jeff Clark, you know, debunked that as well as complete bullshit. So it depends what these articles have, if they've got an agenda or not, making it seem like there's conspiracies all over the place. This is what the problem is, whether it be the media, news outlets, or even general public, where they'll label a community for being conspiracy theorist, right? A conspiracy theory. But I think what people need to get through their heads, not everything is a conspiracy. Not every theory or idea is a conspiracy one, right? You can have a simple theory. You can have a simple idea. The term conspiracy, I guess, is when it comes into something a bit more deep-rooted and arguably controversial, right? But the conspiracy part tends to be associated with either US government, military, higher-ups like that. But something saying as, oh, Kenny staged his disappearance and, you know, was moved on elsewhere by some family or friends, it's not exactly a conspiracy. It's just a concept, an idea with a bit of common sense based on what we know of or what's been found along the way. right? So it'll be interesting to see how this article goes. Is it a direct news article or more of like a blog on a website? It's a bit of both. It does seem to be quite detailed, interesting, considering it's 2017. Now, none of these articles have, credited the likes of Jeff Clark, Sean Horlacher, SB, J Chuck, etc. I mean, 2017, this article, this blog, does it incorporate Jeff Clark's hike? Probably not. But, we'll look at it nevertheless and see what they've got to say. Let's head on over. So the name of this website is called True Noir Stories. So that's kind of interesting. The title of the article reads, Searching for a Cave in the Desert, The Strange Disappearance of Kenny Veach. Now, to be honest, already, this title is quite subtle, okay? There's no Area 51 reference. There's not even the reference of M Cave. So that's interesting. If we just hide reader for a second, you can see the banner of Kenny Veach there from his M Cave hike when he's picking up those, pinion nuts or so. Does it give the, yes, August the 4th, 2017. Okay. Hopefully I can get the that back up. Show reader. It does make it look a lot better though on the screen. It says, on Monday, November 10th, 2014, Kenneth Lee Veach, known by friends and family as Kenny, told his family that he was going on a short overnight trip into the Sheep Mountains in Nevada. So I guess that mostly checks out. Short overnight trip, camping there too. Now, my question has always been, right, so he supposedly took his backpack, is that correct? He either took his camera or not. He didn't take his video camcorder, but maybe a camera for taking photos. He supposedly took his firearm. I mean, if his backpack was taken, what was that for? To put the firearm in? Or is it to put in the camping gear? What has Kenny done in the past when it comes to an overnight trip? Well, we've seen the photos on his Facebook page, 2013, 2011, etc. And to be honest, he was somewhat equipped, right? So he probably had some kind of camping gear. I don't think he slept on the mountains or on the ground bare, kind of like J Chuck did without a tent. So is that worth taking into mind? The bit about going into Sheep Mountains, I guess that's what you'd call it, or Joe May Canyon. Has just a quick question, Jeff Clark. I know Kenny Veach never really referenced names of locations as if he didn't know what they were called, but did Kenny Veach ever refer to the place he hiked as Joe May Canyon? Besides Picture Canyon, right? Did he ever mention Joe May Canyon? I mean, even the articles themselves talk about Sheep Mountains, Sheep Range, but they don't directly say Joe May Canyon or Little Joe May Canyon. Interesting. Because it is named on Google Earth, so it should be somewhat known. Anyway, let's continue reading. The 47-year-old hiker then headed out and never returned home. Kenny's disappearance was as unceremonious as his exit. Oh my God! I just said the word correct! I'm a winner! Guess what? I can use pronunciation correctly! There we go. All the Americans standing in line. We, the people, approve of Warlike Wrath for his absolute certainty in saying words properly. We're so proud of you, Warlike Wrath. Okay, well, that's good to know, Jeff Clark. Let's just continue reading. So, his disappearance, unceremonious. Why exactly? Not expected. Negative outcome. It says, and few concrete clues were ever found. Concrete clues? I mean, I think that's wrong to say. This is 2017, right? Some of the concrete clues were already found before 2017, hence 2014 when the search team went out there search and rescue. To find that Kenny's vehicle was out there abandoned, to find his loose change and a phone, it's more than enough to suggest Kenny was out there, right? Even I believe Kenny went out there. But did he remain out there or did he return back to be picked up by somebody else if he was staging a fake hike? his final hike out there and supposedly never returning or exiting the area safe and sound, right? I think there's possibilities that it may have been staged, right? Let me know your thoughts down below. But yeah, I'd say there's concrete clues to point out that Kenny was out there at least, okay? As for the true outcome, yeah, that can remain unknown because no body has been found, no blood, no DNA like that. I understand. So kind of a bit poorly worded. It does say though, however, the truly bizarre aspects of the story begin not with Kenny's November 10th hike, but a little over a month earlier. Oddly, it all seems to have begun with an offhanded comment on a YouTube video. Moving down. Breaking with the usual true noir format, in which the subject mystery is summarised immediately, the story of Kenny Veach's disappearance is convoluted. Okay, and strange enough to necessitate a sequential retelling of events. There you go. You want me to say that again just to test my pronunciation? I'll give it a try. The story of Kenny Veach's disappearance is convoluted and strange enough to necessitate a sequential retelling of events. There we go. Using all fancy wording, I see. I mean, they say that they've summarised it immediately. They've missed out some key details, though. Some key timestamps. They're not really referred to the cave itself unless they mention it further down. It says, was he even a real person? Where is Kenny Veach? Have we ever seen that question before? Wondering, was he even a real person? Well, yeah, a real person, true. And Susan Veach knew Kenny Veach, sister-in-law. So Kenny Veach was a real person, and it was his real name. There doesn't seem to be anything fake there, okay? But about the M cave, was it even real? Did it exist? That's a question, right? So a bit of a weird question here by the article. It says, could he have interacted with extraterrestrial technology successfully salvaged by the US government? And what does any of this have to do with a mysterious and supernatural cave in the Mojave Desert? A conscious energy, the long and strange story begins in a barely tangentially related place. What is going on with all these words? Tangentially, tangentially related place. A website featuring various theories and evidence for the existence of extraterrestrials and nefarious government collusion. SeriousDisclosure.com has a robust YouTube catalogue of interviews with witnesses. They have released 2 documentaries and details their agenda accordingly. So in quotes, we are interested in the development of a peaceful relationship with extraterrestrial intelligence, ETI, which has been visiting planet Earth for decades, if not centuries. Part of the reason the ETI presence has been kept secret is that one of the first questions would be, how are they getting here? They're not using fossil fuels. It is through zero-point or quantum vacuum energy generation systems, and it's those energy systems we want to develop and bring out to the general public so that we may have a world of pollution-free, sustainable abundance. Glancing through the many videos uploaded by Serious Disclosure, it becomes readily apparent that one video in particular has an outrageous amount of views compared to the many others. Published on December 3rd, 2013, this well-watched video is called Son of an Area 51 Technician and features the recollections of a rather soft-spoken man named Paul H. Utz. Paul shares his impressions of and stories about his father. Paul's father worked his entire life in a GS-16 capacity for the US government near Nellis Air Force Base and Area 51, obviously. He had a high level of security clearance in the video. Go down. Paul recalls a story that his father drunkenly told him. In quotes, they had tested a device that was supposed to be a new type of energy source direction, and they had it taken out into the range, and it had literally blown up when they tried to activate it. When they tried to turn it on, one of the things that my father found interesting was that the energy source had a lot of organic composition within the material structure. My father says that it was developed by a university and that it was technology, and that his group, his team, were developing it further and studying it further, and that it had organic components. It was almost like it had a consciousness. Bad vibrations in 2014 is an offhanded interaction that would directly correlate with the amassing of over 1.1, nearly 1.2 million views on the otherwise unremarkable video, and potentially lead to his disappearance. Kenny Veach took a few moments to leave an unusual comment on the above detailed interview. Right, so the way this article is worded, it's very odd and strange. It's a little bit all over the place. They've not really told the story about Kenny Veach exactly. They've not really explained the cave. It's a weird way of telling the story in general. It's not a good, I wouldn't say it's been written out well. This part above about the sources of Kenny Veach, the origins of him, I think it should have been better structured. The part about energy weapons or energy equipment, how that could tie with vibrations or so, maybe that could have been described as a separate theory and then reinforcing it with research done and conducted with like those videos. There's Kenny there. Also known as Snakebit McGee under the YouTube username, Kenny described hiking near Nellis Air Force Base and finding a strange hidden cave. Now, as we know, where Kenny Veach was in his actual hike video trying to find that M-shaped cave, which was kind of weird and had the vibrations, it was nowhere near Nellis Air Force Base. It was closer to Nellis Test Range. Okay? Nellis Test Range compared to Nellis Air Force Base is about a 30+ mile difference between the two locations. One's an actual base, the other one's a testing range for the likes of Nellis. Okay? So to say that you've been hiking out near Nellis Air Force Base, there's a big difference between that and where Kenny was actually hiking in his video. So that's why it made me think maybe his first encounter with the cave was in a completely different location. You know, if we're looking at it word for word, that's exactly the case. But people don't understand me. You look at the comments, people don't understand me. But don't worry, we can do a catch-up video. We can look at those comments. We can look at the impetuous humans and clear the things up there, okay? Just wanted to point it out here. Now take in mind, near to the actual Nellis Air Force Base, which is kind of east of Las Vegas, not far from Nellis Air Force Base, further east, a bit more over, you got some mountain range. You've got, is it called Sunshine Mountains or so? Something like that. But then near to that, you have Frenchman Mountains, and Frenchman Mountains, as of recent time, human remains were found there by a hiker. The remains unknown identity, still to this day, but it's only happened recently. Could it be Kenny Veach? Who knows? But if you do want a further analysis, deeper look into that story, that breaking news, make sure to check out on my channel, or even top right corner of the screen, I symbol. You'll find the video there if you're interested, okay? Anyway, this article goes on to say, the entrance of this cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. The cave was quickly given the, obtuse moniker of the M Cave by YouTube users. A prolific hiker and brazen adventurer, Kenny is adamant in the post that he always enters every cave he finds. However, upon attempting to enter the M Cave, he described his body shaking as he neared the entrance. As Kenny neared closer and closer, the vibrating became worse. He began to experience a deep sense of foreboding. Before Kenny could enter, as he had done with so many other caves, so many other times before, he was overcome by his fear and hightailed it out of there. Though the comments have since been disabled on the video, screenshots still exist of Kenny's original post. Hold on. You're saying that in 2017, that son of an Area 51 technician, that video, the comment section was disabled. No, it wasn't, unless it was in 2017. What I can say is in 2020 and onwards till this day, the comments haven't been disabled. What has happened since, though, is that Kenny's comment, as you see just there on the screenshot, that was deleted sometime in, I guess, 2021. Weird. Not been explained since. Let me know if you remember that. Do we have anything else here? No. So we've seen that before, of course. Now, in terms of when I last saw his comment before it was deleted, it was up to about 560 likes. It was the most liked comment on that channel's video, which would make sense because of who this person is. It says, a return to the cave. After a barrage of questions and criticisms from other YouTube commenters, Kenny would eventually decide to return to Sheep Range to try to find the M Cave again. As detailed in this article, encountering that cave seemed to be quite a big deal for Kenny. A frightening, life-changing experience. After his first unsuccessful attempt at locating the M Cave, he posted this video to satiate social media followers. Okay. Let me just try and understand that. Detailed in this article. Quite a big deal. Was it quite a big deal to Kenny? Maybe. Frightening, life-changing experience. I don't think it was life-changing because, okay, it might have encouraged Kenny to go back out there, etc., etc. He's always been known to hike. He likes hiking. He's passionate about it, so that didn't change. It didn't put him off, so you can't say it's life-changing. After his first unsuccessful attempt. What do you mean, his first unsuccessful attempt at locating the M Cave? And then you say, he then posted this video. Right, I guess what it means, how it's worded here, after his first attempt of relocating the M Cave, that's where it should be made, because his first, attempt, if you want to call it that, not that, well, you can't really call it an attempt because it wasn't intent on finding it, he stumbled across it, but the first hike that Kenny did, he came across the cave, he was unprepared. The second time round, he made his first attempt in relocating it whilst recording it. He couldn't find it, okay? Posted it, told people about it, and they were like, double down, you got to go back out. And that was his final hike, the third one, in which he never returned back, okay? Anything else mentioned here? It says, at around the 1 minute 30 mark, Kenny explains, I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a gestures a gun in his holster. I didn't have a firearm when I was here before. And something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to go in there right now, but I'm going to come back someday. And I talked to some people on YouTube and I told them, hey, I'm coming out here, because they kind of called my hand on it. So I don't know if there's going to be anything to it, but it might be interesting. If I can find it, I've got to relocate it. And this is a big mountain range I'm in. Shapes like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M. Is that what he really said? I'll have to look at that, the way it's exaggerated. Shaped like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M. Jesus, if you're talking about a gigantic, big, it might be like what we've seen on the Google Earth satellite imagery. Even like what Scott Natal came across in the past when he called it one of his videos, Big M Cave Found. Yeah, it was on the side of a mountain. It was high up. It wasn't on low ground, but it was in the shape of an M and it was big, right? Kenny contradicted himself a few times, right? Okay, he says, oh, it's quite big, comparing it to his height. He didn't really say it was wide, though. But, yeah, later on in his hike video, going down Pitcher Canyon by saying, I couldn't find that funny little cave. So you go from saying it's gigantic to it's a funny little cave. Make your mind up, right? What's Kenny doing there? It's a bit weird and confusing. Right, it says, well, he said at the time, it's about as tall as I am and kind of narrow. And it's stuck on the side of a mountain. So I hope I can find it again. If I do, I'm going in there. I'm going to put on my light, take my gun out and walk in there. See if I find anything. Did he have a light? I don't remember seeing him have a torch or a flashlight, unless that was in his backpack, I guess. We'll see. Right. At some point, allegedly, commented the following: "The region that I cover is vast. There are many caves. I've been in hundreds of them. The M cave is the only cave I ever feared. I dare any of the people that like to run their mouths on here to join me. Looking at the above comments, it's reasonable to assume that some of the YouTube criticism may have at this point been annoying Kenny. Though he was unable to locate the M cave on his trip, he remained undeterred." Right, give me a second. Just want to screenshot that, I guess. Do it about there. The reason why I want to screenshot it is because whilst you got the archive of, Kenny's comment, his original one, you don't have his responses or replies. And with the thread being completely deleted off YouTube, you just can't find it. So with it being re-quoted here, that's why I took a screenshot, because there is a theory regarding that. The what ifs, if a person or people joined Kenny on his final hike, what would have really happened? We can discuss that in a later video, okay? Right, so that's an old photo of Kenny in the past. You can see how he's fairly equipped and he's got a decent sized backpack. That could have been an overnight trip, you never know. What's this down here? It says, "Like a bad horror film trope, Kenny soon agreed to try to find a cave again. He commented, 'I will have my 9mm with me this time, just in case. It's a 10-hour hike, no trails, very dangerous terrain.'" Right, so maybe this is how they confirmed that Kenny definitely had a 9mm firearm with him, because he actually said it himself in the comments. Now, I wouldn't have known because I couldn't remember all the responses by Kenny because the comments were deleted on YouTube. So that's interesting. It says, "In a mysterious universe," article by Brent Swanser. "The apprehension surrounding Kenny's endeavour to find the cave is apparently described as having an air of dread, further echoing sentiments across the web. The article describes how from the beginning of the entire debacle, some followers couldn't quite shake the feeling that the cave was nothing but trouble, a hungry presence, and if it did indeed exist, was perhaps a place that Kenny was not meant to return from. Whether due to supernatural compulsion, innocent curiosity, stubborn pride in the face of anonymous internet criticism, or perhaps for other reasons entirely, Kenny Veach would make his final attempt to find the M cave on November 10th, 2014. This search attempt was the same hike in which he disappeared. A hidden cave hoax. Those who had unknowingly followed Kenny's tale of his own Wait, a hidden cave hoax. Does anyone think like that? Anyone agree? Is that a possibility? What would be the point then? To fake a story, make a mystery out of nothing, and then just disappear after? What do you gain specifically from that if you are in hiding and stuff? Let me know your thoughts down below if you want to bullet point it. But yeah, it says, those who had unknowingly followed Kenny's tale of his own eventual disappearance from his very first YouTube comment about the mysterious cave were deeply unnerved. However, social media followers also quickly began to question the perplexing circumstances surrounding the disappearance. It seemed to be an unavoidable first conclusion for those following the events. Right, that seems to be on Reddit. Okay, that little screenshot, that's a Reddit post. So if this article, well, I could be wrong, but if this article was done in 2017 and this Reddit post was 1 year ago from 2017, it'd be 2016. Right, first time when Jeff Clark started going out there. So, doesn't say who it's by, it's been, you call it redacted. Says, quite honestly, this case confuses me. His Facebook and photos seem to make this like a legitimate case, but the extreme lack of news articles and any information at all make me think it's a hoax. I only found one local news article on the guy and a million conspiracy sites about him. It seems to me be a cleverly created internet hoax, not an actual missing person case. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've searched extensively for any information on this case, and all I found were local news sites. That was extremely short, and then a bunch of conspiracy sites. How do we know this actually happened? Well, whoever this person was on Reddit at the time, Jeff Clark, said himself that as time went on, news articles disappeared from the internet about Kenny Veach. So it became less known and less findable on Google, right? Ever since new articles have arrived and, they've got the story wrong here and there, which is no surprise. But as for the old stuff, the old archives, that just vanished. So maybe this is why this person didn't find them. I get that. What's this? In true modern fashion, many skeptics reiterated the saying, you can never trust anything you read on the internet. Could the whole thing from Kenny's very first casual comment have been an elaborate internet hoax? As of this post, Kenny Veach and the mysterious M Cave have yet to be debunked on Snoops. But there are very few details available about Kenny's life, none of which are readily available, easily verifiable and / or known for certain. Most of the corroborating information pertaining to this mystery comes from purported friends and family members leaving comments on various social media platforms across the internet. In fact, Kenny's girlfriend Sharon Pilgrim first broke the news of his disappearance in a YouTube comment. Right, okay, well, what they're talking about friends and family members leaving comments on various social media platforms. I've not seen that. Has anyone else? Susan Veach? What's this going on about? I can understand the bit about Kenny's girlfriend reaching out on YouTube for the right or wrong reasons, but as for the other family members of Kenny or the friends, I don't remember seeing them posting anything anywhere. So what's this article going on about? I mean, if you're referring to Vicky Veach, the daughter, when she was being interviewed briefly by that news place within the local area, was it called K3 News or something? And we actually looked at it in recent time, and it was back in 2014, close to the day of when Kenny was reported missing. Yeah, Vicky Veach spoke out there in brief. I think going on about saying that I hope he's okay, and he should be, because he's got experience till he should be okay and fine. But past that point, I don't remember anyone else saying anything. And take in mind, this is 2017, that early on. So I don't know what was said back then. I was looking at the case briefly in 2015 onwards, but that was more YouTube videos, right? I just don't remember seeing any comments. Right. It does say Sharon was the first to break the news of his disappearance in a YouTube comment. Was he? Was she? Right, so we've seen this comment before. We said, overnight hike, Monday, 10th November. Today is December 10th. He did not return when he was supposed to, and I called missing persons. I've been searching for him and have not found him. I did not want to leave his wonderful video and this site just hanging and having you wonder why he has not responded. James Lacey01, thank you for suggesting the GPS. I talked with him before about using GPS for safety reasons. He just never seemed to want to use one. He loved just being out in the desert and just finding his own way. I'm aching with missing his physical presence. Please encourage all the solo hikers you know to use a GPS. What else was there? Kenny's girlfriend went on many hikes together. Well, so many. Many of the hikes were 8 or 9 hours long. Right, yeah. The situation does share several red flags with many other pervasive internet hoaxes. Kenny's sudden online appearance, no easily attainable legitimization of his existence, and a crazy story about something abnormal in the wilderness. Kenny only ever uploaded the following 5 videos to his YouTube account, and they're all very odd. Handsome cowboy sells himself with his home. See, this is what the interesting thing is. In 2017, this article, this person stating Kenny only uploaded 5 videos to his YouTube account. Yet I remember seeing more videos on his YouTube account. So I first heard about the case in 2015 by DJ Cook and onwards. So I would have checked out Kenny's YouTube channel in 2015 and maybe 2016. And around that period, videos, alternative ones, were on his channel. But 2017 onwards, they must have been taken down. Interesting. Gives a description here. Posted September 2nd, 2014, 1 hour, 5 minute duration. Quirky and Shark Tank submission, new improved TP holder. Posted October 17, 2014, 1 minute 17 seconds. Galola Bear, posted October 17, 2014. Shark Tank submission, posted October 17th. And an MK hike posted October 17th. Yeah, so what, like 4 videos posted all on the same day. A little bit weird, but then again, you got a 1 minute video, you got a 3 minute video and an 8 minute video. They're not long videos. That's why sometimes you upload multiple in a day. It's the same thing what I've done, to be honest. I've uploaded 2, 5, 10 minute videos and uploaded another video afterwards, which could have been longer. As for the M Cave hike, posted October 17, 2014, 21 minutes, 57 seconds. As it was edited, pieced together, because, it being a long hike, about 10 hours or so, you're not going to have a 10-hour video. So Kenny did put some effort into editing his video, right, as you saw. But it doesn't mean to say that because it was posted October 17th was the day he went out hiking. I think it's a few weeks before that, right? It does say, though, 21 minute, 57 minute duration, Kenny appears to have posted 45 videos on the same day, a few weeks before Halloween. All of the videos except the MK search are centered upon him selling something, his house, a product or an idea. Well, desperate for money, in trouble with money issues, right? Kenny selling himself, but not as a prostitute, with his home. Kenny's first video is of him attempting to sell himself along with his house. He proposes the idea of purchasing of his abode as a vacation home, but also allowing him to continue living in it as a caretaker. Another video is that of the failed M Cave search. The 3 remaining videos appear to, seriously, constitute Kenny's attempt at submitting ideas to the popular television show Shark Tank. Well, he did leave his job not far behind, so he needed something to work on and some opportunities. It does say, however, it appears that submissions to Shark Tank are accepted via emailed applications. If Kenny was serious about getting these ideas on Shark Tank, it's likely that YouTube videos alone would not have been considered an actual submission by the production company. In addition, media did not seem to heavily feature the disappearance. An unresolved disappearance in the Mojave Desert combined with the kind of paranormal backstory that would make conspiracists everywhere jump up and down would have seemingly made more than a few headlines. Editors note, it bears nothing that after extensive scouring of the web, True Noir could locate only one local news story and a poorly transcribed news segment featuring the disappearance. This may make Kenny Veach's disappearance the least reported on mystery. That's true. In the entire True Noir catalogue, save for our post on Black-Eyed Kids. What? Or maybe even, right, whatever that's about. Though Kenny seems proficient at YouTube, it's understandable that a 47-year-old outdoorsman may not have fully grasped all of the intricacies of modern internet culture, and regardless of anyone's suspicions, the following details are all true. Though rare and hard to find, there are legitimate local news reports which featured Kenny Veach's disappearance and resulting search efforts. And of course, ever since, there's been more news articles. And in 2021, HLN, around November time, documentary was released. So it is pretty real, right? And documented nowadays. Says, Kenny is listed in the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, NAMUS, or NAM-US, which requires submission, authorization, confirmation from local authorities. According to a transcript of local news broadcasts, where the actual broadcast could not be located, Kenny's daughter, Victoria, also known as Vicky Veach, made a public plea for assistance, stating, "Knowing my dad, I'm pretty sure that he probably just hurt himself, he just needs help, and he's stuck and needs help." According to Red Rock Search and Rescue's official Twitter handle, a search was performed for Kenny. In consideration of the above listed reasons alone, the disappearance of Kenneth Lee Veach appears to be just as real as any other legitimate missing persons case, with a distinct lack of leads, evidence, and national media coverage. YouTube videos and strange cave comments aside, Kenny was a father, son, boyfriend, human being that vanished without... Right, when they're saying Kenny was a boyfriend, it's not saying Kenny had a boyfriend, but was the boyfriend of Sharon Pilgrim. But that is misinformation, because Kenny, in the eyes of Sharon Pilgrim, it was ex-boyfriend. And as for Kenny, Sharon Pilgrim was the ex-girlfriend. But Sharon Pilgrim, with that comment on YouTube stating that she is the girlfriend, she didn't say I'm the ex-girlfriend, but I am the girlfriend. So what's going on there? Bit weird, the dynamics. What's this one? Cell phone of missing hiker found near abandoned mine shaft, Saturday, November 22nd, 2014. Right, okay. KSNV, My News 3. This is the one what we read out at the time. I remember that, not that long ago. Coordinates unknown, considering the hoax theory debunked. One dark question hangs heavily over the mystery of Kenny Veach and the M Cave. What exactly happened to Kenny in that remote span of wilderness? According to the news report, only once, searchers with Red Rock Search and Rescue discovered Kenny's cell phone placed near a mine shaft. No body, clothes or other belongings have been found. Interesting how this article says Kenny's cell phone was placed near a mine shaft, but was it? Because Jeff Clark's comment on YouTube recently has been, was Kenny Veach's phone and change chucked on the ground in a rush? You know, lack of urgency, a form of urgency, whether it be because he panicked, on the run, on the go, not quite thinking clear, or did he, place it down in a calm manner? It says that he placed it down, so probably not damaged, but officially we don't know. It's not really been mentioned, has it? It just says Kenneth Veach was not in the mine. We have track and new leads. That was 4:20 p.m, 23rd of November 2014. Never seen this tweet before. Obviously, it's hard to look back and find that stuff when it's that long ago. But let me know if you've seen this before. It says we have track and new leads. So does that mean that once they debunked that Kenny wasn't at the mine shaft, they then found new tracks and new leads? Because at least from what I remember, they followed Kenny's scent, supposedly, up to the mine shaft, and that's where it ended. So then they thought maybe he's in the mine shaft. They checked, he wasn't there. They found his phone and stuff. Could that be the new lead? Maybe, but it led to a dead end, realistically. As for a new track, there wasn't a new track. As soon as they got to the mine shaft, that was it. Dead end. The scent ended. There was nowhere else to go, really. So I don't know what they're going on here. It says, Red Rock Search and Rescue Commander Dave Cummings told the local news company, we found his cell phone close to a very vertical old mine shaft. We can't find another trail. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean that he's down the mine shaft, but we've tracked him as far as we can. We're having our other crews come in from the search areas. Dave's comment brings to mind a few comments in the beginning of the M Cave hike video. Kenny pans down the old mine, dangerous looking. This kind of stuff, iffy. I'm going to step on this thing. It's very old, but I'll just show you down inside. The hole goes way, way, way down in there. If you fell, that would be it. You'd be a goner. I was in better conditions there than it was when the likes of Jeff Clark and then onwards Scott Natal came across it. It was worse then and more dangerous. Right. Picture from MK video. Yeah, we can't discover his cell phone. Sharon Pilgrim, Kenny's girlfriend, well, ex-girlfriend, who first commented. Right. In quotes, the phone looked like it was left on the ground by the mine. Wait. Also revealed the following. Kenny's girlfriend. Right, so this is coming from Kenny's girlfriend, Sharon Pilgrim. At the time, Sharon Pilgrim said, the phone of Kenny Veach's looked like it was left on the ground by the mine. His pockets were deep. He would always wear military pants to hike in. Cargo pants, I guess. They have very deep pockets. Yes, it's very odd that nothing else was found. No sleeping bag, no backpack. Right, so it's assumed that he did take a sleeping bag and a backpack with him. So what? That means he was intending on planning an overnight hike and camp out there. Because if you weren't, then you just would leave it behind, right? There'd be no need to take it with you. Would a suicidal person take all the camping gear with them to end their life in the desert? Or would they neglect it, leave it behind, and just take that one firearm with them because that's what they're intending on using? They're not going to be camping out there. They're just going to end it as soon as possible, right? So there seems to be some contradictions here, don't there? But let me know your thoughts in the chat, what you think about this, right? The way it's been worded as if the phone was placed on the ground in a gentle way. Not chucked, not thrown, but as we know, Jeff Clark, this is coming from the girlfriend. Can we really trust what she says? Maybe not. What's this one? Ray guns and wilderness known as the home of the largest habitat of desert bighorn sheep in the southwest. The mountainous sheep range in Nevada is a rugged and remote area. The sheep range is one of the southern Nevada's major mountain ranges, and in addition to sheep, it's also home to mule deer, kit foxes, collared lizards, mountain lions, roadrunners, king snakes, desert tortoise, and an incredible variety of vegetation. The climate spans from multiple days of sub-freezing winter temperatures to long and dry sun-irradiated summer days. There's a photo there. Sheep range. It's described as offering outstanding opportunities for primitive recreation and solitude. For this reason, they're an infrequent destination for tourists. That's true. The area is a playground for experienced hikers, mountaineers, scramblers, and canyoneers. These formidable mountains, with the highest peak reaching an elevation of 9,912 feet above sea level, are located within the Desert National Wildlife Refuge, north of Las Vegas, near Nellis Air Force Base. It's not near Nellis Air Force Base, it's near Nellis Test Range. Get that right. The Desert National Wildlife Refuge is the largest wildlife refuge in the lower 48 states of the United States. The entire refuge is comprised of 1.615 million acres of land in the Mojave Desert. The nearby Nellis Air Force Base is well known for being a component in a variety of conspiracy theories, most frequent of which usually relating to the base's proximity to Area 51, even though Area 51 is many miles away, more north, so that's not much of a correlation there, honestly. It says, Kenny believed the M cave was located somewhere around this area. What? What? Are they referring to that photo there? That area, or on the other side? Weird, I don't remember it being worded like that. Due to the advanced aircraft and weapons systems developed at Nellis Air Force Base, theorists have long surmised that government scientists reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology from the remains of crashed UFO spacecrafts at Area 51. Other such theories border on the fantastical and are especially colourful. One such conspiracy theory claims that a species of aliens known as the Tall Whites are actually based inside Nellis Air Force Base. From their long-standing seat at Nellis, these aliens continue to help the USAF develop their technologies in exchange for mineral resource they require on the planet. Look what it's worded there. Nevada Test Site, Nellis Air Force Range. Nellis Air Force Range, Desert Refuge Center. Yeah. Nellis Air Force Base is close to Las Vegas. Right? Sheep Range, the hiking area, is close to Nellis Test Range. What? It's literally worded right here. Why does the article get it wrong themselves? It's literally staring at you right in the eye. It's weird. Because there's a difference between a test range and the actual base. Why did I keep getting it so confused and mixed up? So the source of that photo was by Wikipedia, again. Based on Kenny's comments on the video of Son of Area 51 technician, it can be reasonably surmised that he believed his MCAVE experience may have resulted from an interaction with some kind of unknown government technology, though he didn't say that himself. That may seem outlandish, and it's certainly not the conscious technology described by Paul H. Utz. There are some rather unsettling deterrent technologies developed by the US government. The Active Denial System, ADS, is a weapon developed by US military for area denial, perimeter security and crowd control, which heats the surface of the targets, such as the skin of the targeted human subjects. Deployed in 2010 for the Afghanistan war, the ADS uses a similar principle as a microwave oven, exciting the water and fat molecules in the skin and instantly heating them via dielectric heating. Where it's considered harmless except by the 0.1% of subjects that experienced pea-sized blisters during testing. One test subject asserted, "I will repel you. If hit by the beam, you will move out of it. Reflexively and quickly." Reflexively. You for sure will not be eager to experience it again. In addition, other theories exist about the government potentially using infrasound, a lower frequency sound which may cause feelings of awe and fear of humans and make people feel vaguely that odd or supernatural events are taking place. There, this popular science article ensures readers that infrasound cannot be used to induce head explosions. It does make a very interesting and relevant comment. Almost any part of your body based on its volume and makeup will vibrate at specific frequencies with enough power. Is it possible that Kenny found some kind of military-grade deterrent system in the Sheep Mountains? Could the M Cave have been the entrance to a secret testing facility? That's an old photo of Kenny there. Making a lone hiker disappear after he wandered around the entrance to a government facility on 3 separate occasions is certainly not the most outrageous conspiracy theory plaguing the interwebs. Alternatively, the military covering up the death of a lone hiker after he was inadvertently exposed to a secret weapon seems less far-fetched than rolling out a massive ray gun in Afghanistan. Tragic legend, though, the circumstances surrounding Kenny Veach's disappearance lend themselves readily to conspiracies. There is a high likelihood that the reality of Kenny's fate was much more mundane. Many people believe that as a result of his cavalier approach towards solo hiking and safety, Kenny Veach ultimately succumbed to the elements. Well, at least they're not rushing it in with the suicide theory. According to a quotation taken from one of Kenny's comments on Son of Area 51, "My hikes are brutal on the body. After one of my long hikes, some of my toenails turn black and fall off. I lose about 13 pounds of body weight. It takes me about 3 days to recover from the abuse I put myself through, but I love every minute of it." By Kenny's own admissions, he pushed his hiking adventures to the limit. In addition, as Sharon Pilgrim first mentioned in the post about Kenny going missing, he didn't use a GPS device. Yes. More tragically, Sharon later expounded in a revealing post about Kenny's possible mental state. Oh no. He left at 6 a.m. for his about 1 hour drive to where he would park to start his hike down Jermate Road. With all that I've put together from conversations and where he was in his life, I believe he took his own life. I could see his depression increase due to money issues. So there was money issues. He had quit his job of 17 years, about 14 months before he disappeared, and was living on his retirement money. He was running out of money, had not created the money he hoped to with doing a business on his own. He did open up and talk with me about his suicidal thoughts he had for years. As he said, for most of his life, his father committed suicide with a gun when Kenny was in his early 20s. I don't know if Kenny left in the morning with this intent or if the decision was made after he was on his hike. I was with Search and Rescue when they got the okay from the police to search his house. His gun was not there, so we know that he took his gun with him. He always took it on our camping trips and usually took it on long desert hikes. So you say he usually took it, so why did he not take it that first time when he came across the cave then? What was different then? By himself, I wonder. Sharon says, what I found odd is that his video camera was left behind, but his regular camera was not found in his home, so we figured he took this photo camera. Finally, I found it. I refound that quote by Sharon Pilgrim. Thank God for that. Let me get a screenshot of it because it's important, this. Just wait for that. There we go. Far too often people have doubted me. Okay? People have doubted me. We can't even get the original screenshot of the comment, right? But look what it says here. Sharon said when the police conducted their investigation of Kenny's house, they found his video camera was left behind, so he didn't take it on his hike. But his regular camera wasn't in the home, so we figured he took this photo camera on his hike. That's what I've been saying all this time. And some people out there and outsiders have told me I'm wrong, have told me that he didn't take it. He did. That's what it looks like. That's how it's worded here, right? That's what I said. Gotta trust me. Anyway, so the search was done with his computer. The history showed that he had recently been reading several articles on suicide, and he had the words "help me" written several times in one of his searches. He only said it to me once that if he decided to do it, he would not do it in his home and that no one would ever find him. I'm only guessing, but I feel he said this because of the memories of finding his dad after suicide and knowing that this was like. So with a helicopter fly over and not a trace of Kenny or any of his things, I feel it would be very difficult to find him. He may have had a specific place in mind, but as he said in his video, there were hundreds of caves and mines all over the area. Well, not caves. No one's found caves to search in that area, though. This is merely my opinion, and I could be wrong. See? Uncertain. But it is based on my many conversations with Kenny and information gathered with Search and Rescue. Much more than I can write in a post. Sadly, the YouTube videos of Kenny trying to sell his home and Shark Tank certainly support this theory. A higher likelihood of suicide may also explain the lack of interest by news organisations. And though the possibility of suicide may be likely, no concrete evidence of what happened to Kenny Veach has ever been discovered. True. Well, no. Nowadays there's been some evidence to suggest he's still alive, so let's acknowledge that. If he truly did intend to take his own life on that hike, then Kenny most likely took measures to obscure his fate in mystery in the process. Kenny Veach and the M Cave have become legend, recounted by vastly different and passionate subgroups dispersed across the internet. Hikers and adventurers, conspiracists and ufologists, as well as the masses of anonymous internet commenters, are still arguing over his fate. Most followers of this mystery can't shake the feeling of dread or the questions. Does the mystery, the frightening M Cave, really exist? And if so, did it have anything to do with Kenny's inexplicable vanishing act? Kenny Veach would be 50 years old now. I guess that's speaking as of in 2017. He has brown hair, brown eyes, 5'8" tall, weighed 140 pounds. Last seen wearing a white shirt and blue jeans. If you have any information about Kenny or his whereabouts, please contact Detective Dan Holly, or Las Vegas Metro Police. Now, if I'm correct in saying from what Susan Veach said, Detective Dan Holly, or Holly, is it Holly or Holy? It'll be Holly, yeah. Susan Veach, more recent times, said that original detective assigned on the case had since retired or just no longer on the case. So other people have taken over, new people. But at the time of when Dan Holly was still in charge of the case, when Susan tried getting the attention of Dan about the CCTV, it was kind of dismissed and ruled out. But the new people that have taken over the case have taken it into consideration more. I believe it's that way round. What do we have here, though? Right, why is it going on about this now? Is this telling the story? On Monday, November 10th, 2014, known by his friends, okay. Overnight trip, yeah. Kenny's disappearance was, yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, we've seen that. I wonder why it's repeated. Weird. Huh. I mean, is it like an endless loop? Wouldn't that be a weird website to be on? Yeah, it's kind of like looped around. I don't get that. Was there any comments? Where's the comments? I think I saw some. Jessica, August 11th, 2017. Hi, I love your article. The Mojave has a gazillion mine shafts. He is likely down one of them. Great description about the desert. Really, it's too much adventurous and challenging. 2018, January 21st. I found a video where he looks and sounds like him. Could this person have faked his disappearance? Oh, damn. That's weird. This guy here, IXIL Sarin, in 2018 mentioned about that video there, some lecturer sounding similar to Kenny Veach. I actually did a video on that in 2020 or 2021, years later. So this person that left a comment in 2018, is this the same person that then reached out to me later on through the years? I wonder. Interesting that. February 7th, rest in peace, and that's about it there. So I'd say a bit of a weird article, to be honest with you. So being honest, although there was a lot of words, not enough was actually said, right? I mean, coming from me, with my long videos and stuff, that, I was almost, on the verge of going to sleep. I thought, God, when is this going to end? When I kept scrolling, I saw that little sidebar on the right, and I thought, why does it keep refreshing? How much longer does this go? Thankfully, it was on loop, it was on repeat, and I found out quick enough, but that's probably one of the worst articles I've ever read. I mean, you could say 2017 with how they were wording it about all these people passionate about the case and getting involved and people hiking as well. It sounds like they're ahead of their time. It sounds like what they were describing there in that article is what applies now, nowadays. More people have come in, more people have hiked out there. As of 2017 and before, there was only really 2 people, and only 2 people recorded publicly that went out there, Jeff Clark and Sean Horlacher. That was it. From 2015 up to, I'd say, 2020? 2021? For many years, it was just Jeff Clark, Sean Horlacher. Okay, they might have not gone out there every single year, but Jeff Clark started in 2016, did one in 2017 and 2022. And he went out a few times in between 2016 and 2017 trying to look what he was looking for, right? Sean Horlacher did 2015, 2016, 2019. So multiple times, and since onwards, more and more have joined in, of course, but that article was 2017, so there wasn't that many people involved back then. That's reality, okay? It might have been active online, discussions taking place, but even that was somewhat limited. You had these videos telling the story, and it was brief, right? And still to this day, people have come on in, big channels, but they still tell the same regurgitated story, even though there is a bit more research at hand now than there was back then. But it just feels like the way that article, that blog, whatever you want to call it, the way it was structured and worded, they didn't really tell the story properly. They didn't really tell it in the correct order, and some of the key details, maybe timestamps, dates, were probably missing, right? It's just a bit of a mess. If you're looking at that for the very first time, it's too wishy-washy. They're trying to connect it too much to the conspiracies and ideas without actually really explaining the conspiracies and ideas. You only mention maybe 1 or 2, the UFO part and the military equipment, but it doesn't talk about like possible reptilian creatures. It doesn't talk about true alien abductions. It doesn't talk about faking one's death, faking one's disappearance. Never goes into that. Yes, it goes on to about the suicidal part where, as we know, but the only thing that I can credit the article, it actually mentioned more word-for-word quotes of the original comments by Sharon Pilgrim, by Kenny Veach, stuff which is hard to find nowadays because it's on old videos, old comments, and you try searching through them, it's not that easy, unless there's a secret way around it, a method, which I'm unaware of. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. So for that article to reiterate those key points made, get the screenshots now as you saw, so I can use them for future videos and reference points. It is very helpful that it does get my point across, and I'm just glad I came across it. You remember me? You remember me telling you that it appeared as if Kenny Veach, although he didn't take his video camera, which he used on his second hike video, that he ended up using, well, possibly taking a camera, right, to take photos and stuff, because they said the police couldn't find his other camera. If they can't find his gun, and they assume or presume that it's been taken and used by Kenny, well, the same would apply to the camera, right, if that's not been found. So if a suicidal person's going out into the desert, they take their backpack, they take a sleeping bag, they take a camera, they take a firearm. It does seem more than likely that he was using other items to ensure a form of survival, being able to sleep out there somewhat comfortably, being able to take a camera to document his findings, I guess. So I just don't like the article in general. It's the ideas, the theories, they're not exactly structured well, convoluted, bit all over the place. References to some articles or journals, the stuff, I don't know, it's just a bit all over the bloody place. A lot of excessive quotes, maybe at times where it's not needed, and brackets used where it just breaks up the sentences. It's a bit messy by True Noir. It looks like they've not updated it either. But if that's their style, that's their style, that's what they do, okay? Did I need to make many corrections? Not really. I guess I didn't have to make too many corrections simply because some of the key details were missed out to begin with. So there was not much room for error there, I guess. But I said credit to them for including some older comments which are relevant to key talking points, which I was stuck with and said myself, so that's a positive. And yeah, I think it just needs restructuring, that whole article and website. But it was 2017, so they're going to have limited information, of course. But there was a lot talked about considering with it being 2017, so you can at least give them props to them for that, right? I think besides that, I think we'll leave it there. Hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. Maybe you learned something new. If you picked up on any wording that didn't quite make sense or was a bit odd, leave your thoughts, comments down below. And we'll see what happens next and what can be covered next. Maybe I can do that comment section response thing. There will be a poll eventually on my channel community page. If you want to participate, vote in that, you're welcome to do so. But I'll see you for now. Thanks for watching. Goodbye and good night.